Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today is Friday, July 26th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's baseball games, look ahead to tomorrow's, talk a little bit about the trade deadline. My trade value list is not done yet. Sorry, guys. I'll bring it to you on Monday or on a special podcast at some point next week. And my best bet of the day. All right, baseball. There are some results to go over, some significant, some not so significant. So, without further ado, here we go. Mets over Padres 4-0 as the Mets go to 47-55. San Diego drops to 48-54. Jacob deGrom with the win, Eric Lauer with the loss. DeGrom looked like DeGrom from last year. 7 innings for it, no one runs, a walk, 9 strikeouts, rate 2.86. He's been getting hot. He's entering the conversation for the Cy Young Award in the National League again. And Eric Lauer, 2 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, with a strikeout, ERA 4.38. Cardinals over the Pirates 6-3. Cardinals are 55-47. Pittsburgh's 46-56. Miles Mikolas the win, Joe Musgrove the loss. Mikolas 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, and walk, 5 strikeouts, ERA 4.19. Musgrove 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, and walk, 2 strikeouts, ERA 4.29. Rockies over the Nationals 8-7. The Rockies are 48-55. Washington's 55-47. You had getting the win for the Rocks, improving to 3-2. Jairo Diaz and Fernando Rodney get in charge with the loss, who drops to 0-2. Wade Davis gets his 15th save of the year. Jeff Hoffman started 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 6.57. Meanwhile, Max Scherzer, coming off the injured list, gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. It doesn't say what his ERA had fallen to on the list. Twins over the White Sox 10-3. Minnesota 62-40. Chicago 45-55. Jose Barrios the win. Lucas Giolito the loss. Barrios 2 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts, ERA 2.94. Giolito 5 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 3.52. Indians over the Royals 5-4 in 14 innings as Jose Ramirez hit the go-ahead homer. They're 16-42. Casey's 39-65. Nick Goody to win. Brian Flynn the loss. AJ Cole to save. Adam Pluko started 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout, ERA 4.83. Mike Montgomery 5 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout, ERA 7.71. Orioles over the Angels 10-8 in 16 innings as Jonathan Villar hits the go-ahead homer in the 16th inning. Meanwhile, this game did go 15 innings. Baltimore scored back-to-back RBI single, infield single to go up, and then the Angels tied it on a bases-loaded walk and a 2-run double, and then the Orioles win it pretty much in the 16th. Orioles go to 33-69, Angels 54-50. Tanner Scott the win, Griffin Canning the loss, and getting the save for the Orioles, Stevie Wilkerson. Jacob Yarbrough started 2 innings, a hit, and earned run, 2 walks, and a strikeout, ERA 6.81. Jose Suarez 4 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts, ERA 5.35. Rangers over the Athletics 11-3. Texas 52-51, Oakland 58-46. Ariel Gerardo to win, Brad Anderson the loss. Gerardo 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 4.83. Brad Anderson 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 4.05. Mariners over the Tigers 10-2. The Mariners are 43-63. Detroit's 30-68. Wade LeBlanc the win, Drew Verhagen the loss. Verhagen 4 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 14.4. Yikes. Eric Swanson, the opener, 2 innings, no hits, no runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 7.47. LeBlanc in relief, 6 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, 4.79. Today's games, 6:40 Rockies Reds. You got Herman Marquez and Luis Castillo. 7 o'clock Dodgers Nationals. Hazen Ryu and Anibal Sanchez. Braves Phillies. Mike Soroka, Jake Arrieta. Rays Blue Jays. Diego Castillo and Jacob Waspanek. Yankees Red Sox in Game 2 after the Red Sox absolutely manhandled the Yankees last night by a score of 19-3, by the way. we forgot to go over that game, as Boston improved to 57-47. Yanks dropped to 66-36. Rick Porcello the win, Masahiro Tanaka the loss. Both these guys, one pitched well, the other did not. Porcello 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and a 5 strikeouts rate, 5.55. Masahiro Tanaka, horrible. His worst start of his career, in my opinion. His ERA literally went up a full run. 3 and a third innings, 12 hits, 12 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts rate, 4.79. The Yanks let him go longer than he should have because their bullpen was gassed from that Twins series. And now today, you have James Paxton and Andrew Cashner. James Paxton, the pressure's on him for him to put up a good game. His lone game that made Yankee fans realize or to believe he was an ace was a 16 or so strikeout effort against the Red Sox back in Yankee Stadium in April. So the Yankees really are under pressure tonight to win this game, even though they have a big division lead. But to me, this team's going nowhere if they don't acquire an ace-caliber starting pitcher, and if Luis Severino comes out to the guy that he was before his demise last year. So Paxton's under immense pressure tonight. Andrew Cashner has not been good since coming over in the trade. So I'm going to go with the Yanks tonight on the road. Don't feel good about it. I think it'll be high scoring. I think it'll be like a 8-5 type of game. And I can see Paxton going 6, and then Yankees going to the high leverage guys in 7, 8, 9. And Andrew Cashner, I could see giving the Red Sox some innings, and then their bullpen just imploding. So giving the Yanks tonight, although I don't feel super about it. Pirates, Mets. You have Zach Wheeler in what is probably his last start as a Met against Dario Agrazal. Diamondbacks, Marlins. Zach Greinke and Sandy Alcantara. 8-10 Cubs, Brewers. Kyle Hendricks and Gio Gonzalez. Big series for the Cubs and the Brewers. White Sox host the Twins. Michael Pineda and Dylan Cease. 8-15 Indians, Royals. Zach Plesac and Jacob Junis. Astros, Cardinals. You have Jack Flaherty for St. Louis against Jose Urquidy. 10 o'clock, Orioles, Angels. Asher Wojciechowski against an opener. Rangers, Athletics. Lance Lynn and Daniel Mengden. Giants, Padres, huge series for San Francisco. If they win this series, they're standing pat. If they lose the series, they're selling. That's the bottom line. Joey Lucchesi and Jeff Samardzija. Tigers, Mariners. Daniel Norris against Yusei Kikuchi. All right, before I talk about the trade deadline a little bit, it was announced yesterday that Troy Tulowitzki was retiring from baseball. I mean, he had no choice. He's been dealing with so many injuries the last few years. I think that he had no choice but to hang it up. He had a great career in Colorado. If he wasn't injured all the time, we'd be talking about him as one of the great shortstops of this generation. And then I remember he got traded to the Blue Jays in 2015, and Toronto sent them a haul, including Jeff Hoffman, who really hasn't panned out for them. And then Toronto also traded for David Price that year, and it sent Daniel Norris in that package to Detroit, and among other pieces. And then that team made it to the ALCS, and then he was on the Blue Jays for a few more years. He didn't play at all last year due to injuries. And then the Yankees picked him up as a piece that they thought could help them and try to surprise. So they signed him to like a 1-year minimum contract, but it's a minimum contract. And Tulo played a few games for the Yankees, and he really didn't do much. Then he went on the IL and never came back, and now he's a retired baseball player. I mean, congrats to Tulo on was a very solid major league career. He's not going to go to the Hall of Fame because of his injury issues from the past. We had a pretty good career, especially when he was in his prime in the earlier in the decade / later in the first decade of the century. when he was with the Rockies. Trade deadline is 5 days away. The latest rumors I've been hearing, the Mets want to move Syndergaard. In my predictions, I had him going to Houston, and then there's rumors about them extending Wheeler. Another thing, I preached about it a minute ago, the Yankees absolutely need a starter. Their rotation over the last 6 days has an ugly ERA of 15.5, and their offense has bailed them out in the Twins series. And I know they lost that one game to the Rocks. That was 8-4. That Paxton start. So the last 5 starts, that rotation's been absolutely abysmal, and it's really been a concern. And if they don't address that starting pitching with the right guy, they're not even winning the American League pennant. I'm sorry. They cannot go into the postseason with a not-so-healthy Luis Severino, a Masahiro Tanaka that's elbow could pop any day of the week, James Paxton, who's been a huge disappointment for the Yankees this year. There's no other way to put around it. Jay Happ, that was a horrible free agent signing. It looks like he has an ERA over 5 this year. And CC Sabathia, who's old and washed up and doesn't deserve to start a playoff game. And I think the Yankees know that Sabathia shouldn't be starting playoff games for them. The Yankees' starting pitching rotation in the postseason must be healthy Luis Severino, whoever their trade deadline acquisition is, whether it's Marcus Stroman, Madison Bumgarner, I'm still not ruling out, because if the Giants collapse over these next couple days, they could make him available again. Trevor Bauer, Robbie Ray, somebody. Zach Greinke. Syndergaard's unrealistic because the Mets wouldn't trade with the Yankees for anybody. But, yeah, the Yankees absolutely need another starter. And then the back end of the rotation for the postseason, Tanaka and Paxton. So they need a starter more than pretty much any contender with a possible need. And the other big need that must be addressed by a contender is the Dodgers bullpen. Help outside of Kenley Jansen. Joe Kelly's been a disappointment this year. Pedro Baez is erratic. Even Jansen isn't the same guy he used to be. So they need not one but 2 very good relief arms to solidify themselves as the team to beat in the National League. Because if they don't address their bullpen and the Braves go out and get an ace, it's a whole new race in the National League in terms of the pennant. And if the Cubs upgrade their bullpen, look out. That could be a team to beat too. Right now the Dodgers are the favorites in the National League, and I'd say the Yankees are the AL favorites, but it's really not a fair statement when their starting pitching's been abysmal over the last week. So I would look at those 2 teams as the favorites right now, and I think both those teams will make upgrades to their rotation and their pens, respectively. And I think the Red Sox, despite last night being a blowout, it was all garbage time from the first inning on anyway, need bullpen help if they want to be a buyer, and I think they'll be a buyer. Tampa Bay needs offense. I talked about that. Brewers are an unknown. Cardinals need bullpen. Cubs need bullpen. Atlanta needs pitching, both bullpen and starting. Phillies need both as well. So we'll see what happens leading up to Wednesday. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Every team's playing tonight across the majors. So we have a lot of games to choose from. So we'll go with the Reds over the Rockies because Luis Castillo is an absolute stud. We'll go with the Braves. We'll go with the Dodgers. We'll go with the Rays, the Diamondbacks. Not touching Yanks, Boston. We'll go with the Mets against the Pirates. I'm not touching Michael Pineda. I think he's terrible. We'll go with Zach Plesac and the Indians. Don't feel super about that one. Not touching the Mariners. And then not touching the Padres. So that's 7 teams. 37-11. Wagering $1. Payout of $38.12. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back on Monday recapping Sunday's baseball games and anything else that happens over the weekend in sports. Maybe we'll have a couple trades and whatnot. And I'll have my trade value finally on Monday. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.